Okay.
You noticed the heat was 10 degrees for no reason.
Right. I know that's sweating, yeah.
That's how we do.
So I want to introduce Tony Gagliardi and Bree. They're from Husband Associates. They're our competitors who Jim and Joe have been working with for a very long time, getting it straightened out. So I'm happy that they're with us, and I'm really just, in an effort to save some air, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to Tony.
How long have we been with Clayson?
I'd say about 7 or 8 years.
Oh, it's been that long.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep. So, thanks for having me, everyone. So, appreciate you guys getting me in. I'm used to sometimes going to the board meetings where you have to wait for all the different public comments and such, and sometimes you're getting out there like 8:30, so this is nice, and I appreciate it. Yeah. So what I'm going to do for everyone is just do kind of a brief summary of everything. So Bree's just kind of seeing how this process works, so I told her I wouldn't put her on the spot today or anything with anything. I'll just kind of do the talking today, but next year she's going to do even better than me. Yes.
Excellent. Do the evening next year.
Yep, there you go. Yep.
They're passing the torch to mine.
So this is me and Bree's first year actually doing the school, even though Classics have been there. I know both Classics went through some turnover. We used to do it, and between that and you guys having the turnover, that normally we'd like our audit out truthfully like by end of year or early in the year. So this is really an anomaly this year, the timing of it coming out, because again that just helps with certain things such as planning, and you guys can kind of have a good idea of where you're at with certain things during the year. Just kind of a better tool for that. So really we think and we've all worked through it together. Wendy's been a part of the process, Christine at the end. With everyone working together, I think we're all in good understanding now, and really we all finish this in a quick manner, and then I think really starting next year we're ready to really get the ball rolling again. And hopefully you guys see us by about I'm wearing a Santa hat or something next year when I come in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when he says end of year,
Yeah.
he means calendar
Yes.
year, not fiscal
Yes,
year.
his calendar year, yeah. So we'll have hot chocolate instead of water, so that
Right? Ice bombs.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, really that's the important thing I do want to stress. So we're a full-service public accounting firm. We like to get it done in the fall all as much as we could too. We have tax season and such, and as much as possible. You can understand how much a barrier that is for us as well. So it really helps everyone out that you guys have it. That whole process. Get it to the state, all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do, and I know everyone will have copies. If anyone has questions after the fact, I'll be here to ask. Yes. Here you go.
I can go make it.
Do you have
Do you want to get? Why don't you give them yours, Bree?
Here.
Yeah, but after the fact, if you guys have any, feel free anytime to reach out to Wendy or Christina. Russ?
Right, if there's only a few people, we try to hand out the stuff.
Sorry, they ran out of staples.
It's the funnest part of the meeting.
Cutting back.
Thank you, Derek.
Because sometimes at these things, I'm used to, sometimes with the crowd, they're like, oh my God, will this guy ever stop talking in the crowd? You're saying that, and you feel like that's what they're saying. So yeah. Yep, right. So I'll hit a couple key points for everyone, like stuff that I think is important, and then kind of do kind of an overall process like that. So I want to thank of course Christina came, and then Jim and his crew and Wendy for helping us out throughout. Special thanks to them as we all got to kind of get going on that after their cleanup was done. We were all kind of able to get together and get this out in a good amount of time. So first and most importantly, there were no findings for the financial audit, which is important. You guys did have some findings in prior years, but this year, there was no findings. We have an audit report basically stating as much that everything looked good. Of course, that doesn't mean necessarily, everything is always 100% good, but it just means like you need to see anything in case of a finding. So really, like one thing, of course, which hopefully, you guys don't have to keep going through, like, business managers, for example, because it always helps having someone in place, and I know you all would like that, because then, someone else has to learn the like I always say even about audits, even though every audit is different, the same processes, every audit's, so different. They do stuff a certain way, this person does stuff a different way. So like just getting used to people and the way everyone does things, it just makes it much smoother when you have that kind of transition from year to year with the same people. It really does make a big difference. People know what we like, people know what they, just really helps that matter. So, that's really a big thing with that, I would say. So really, like, some big key differences I want to talk about with the audit, like, of course, and this is going to be, a lot of these differences are kind of throughout different schools. Revenues would have increased due to federal and state funding. Of course, a lot of that was with the ESSER funds and such that came in. Of course, every school had the last couple of years. Now those are running, now that those are out, of course, different decisions have to be made. That's not as plentiful for people coming in. So really, like, that was there. And then the state funding, as we always talk about too, I don't think the state even passed anything yet. You don't know from year to year what you're getting. Could go up, could go down. I know that's not always easy. Like some years it's up a lot more than you think. Some years it's down. So that's really up to the state ultimately. Unfortunately, as Wendy knows. And then really expenses. You guys had a lot more. Expenses went up like from object to object. It was higher last year because you guys had that capital project that you guys were working on last year. So you had all those expenses related to that. But of course, just like anyone else, we all know from even our houses, overhead costs are going up like crazy. Cyber school costs are high, for everyone. That's just, something you always want to keep in place. Budget as good as you could, watch as much as possible, put plans in place for all that. Because I don't think any industry or anyone's immune to those cost increases. So, that's just something, I want to point out with that. As well, and then for the food service fund, really with you guys in the CEP program now, I think that did make a big difference for you guys. That saved some costs for you guys. It was able to help you guys overall with, the 100% participation in that. So that really makes a difference with all that, in that instance. Now, you guys will see in the notes of the financials that we have there. Of course, it's about 50 pages, so I understand it looks a little daunting. But in that is like stuff like capital assets, which kind of lists out like, okay, what did we buy in our building category last year? What did we buy under equipment, land, anything like that. And then that also lists what kind of debt you guys have, as well as your debt payments. So like you guys will see there, and just to kind of give an illustration, I can even let you guys know what page, because this is always helpful, things like this. You guys give me 1 second. If you look at page 37, that will list out your different debt and the balances as of the end of the year. And then like, as you'll see on page 38, it gives you like the principal and interest that you guys have to pay each year. So that's all reflected on the audit report. So like, even though we show that on the balance sheet and the financial statements, more of a summary is kind of shown there, which kind of helps, again, for planning purposes, and just to kind of see, it's supposed to help user in the financial statements for any of that. And then if you look at that prior page on page 36, that's that capital asset breakdown I was talking about. As you guys can see, and of course you guys have a third party help you guys with that industrial appraisal, which you guys send information to. So they kind of help you guys put that together. You guys have to send them what you add in, but that kind of just shows the different categories, what you're buying, any additions, any deletions. That's kind of kept track of year to year, because that's important to track your assets with that. Of course, that's when it's out of the time, and then depreciation, how it decreases over time. It's just like, if you buy a car today and you drive off the lot with that, what do they say, the value already goes down, 10-20% instantly. So same with this kind of stuff. So we kind of reflect that every year, with our income statements. And then you'll see things a little bit later on, starting about page 42, about page 40 in the pension, and then the OPEB. So that's all stuff that we get a report from the state showing all that. We kind of put all that in the report for each school district. They tell you guys based on the PSERS program, which I know has been, as everyone knows, the problems with that over the years, what the school would owe as a liability for for that each. Every school shows a liability for that every year. Yours is last year was about $60 million. Because you're a bigger school. I don't think there's any school that has a deficit in relation to that. But that's not reflected on your school financial statements. That's on another pair that we have in there. But that's just kind of an illustration of that. Kind of tells you what you owe for that each year, as well as your OPEB as well, and just different things. About your program, who goes into it, how it's done. Kind of breaks out the hybrid part of. I know a couple years ago you guys went to more of that hybrid program to kind of talk about the years of service, all that information that people want to say. That's really what it breaks down. So that's kind of what the notes are, a lot of detail like that. And then you'll see in the back here, starting about page page 65 and on, it's something called the single audit. You'll see a whole different report here. So what the single audit is it's another part of the audit. It's basically when we have to test your grants and see if you guys are in compliance. The way that usually works is we have a formula that we have to test. It usually goes by what's a high amount each year, different grants that you guys have in, what you guys spend, and we have to just, like I said, it's literally just testing compliance. It doesn't have to do with financial statements. It would be like if we're testing, okay, did you guys use money for this or to go buy yourselves a new car? You know, we're looking at that kind of thing. Of course, that's an extreme example, but that's, yeah. But, and then on page 68, you guys better get your magnifying glasses out, everyone. But that's the different programs that you guys got, like the Title I, the Title II, you know, how much you got each year and how much you spent. That's kind of a breakdown of all that, as you can see. So based on our formulas last year, we had to test both the ESSER program and the child nutrition last year, because ESSER, the state requires everyone to be tested for that. That's because they're high risk. So every school has to be tested for that, probably through 24, and then that will be over. But that's kind of a breakdown of that. And again, you guys had no findings under the single audit. We saw, you know, all the compliance that we looked at with ESSER and your child nutrition, we tested, and, you know, we saw everything was good with that.
And then Esther's goes away.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And it breaks it down even like ESSER 2, ESSER 3, kind of breaks it up that all down. Like you have the CARES ESSER there.
Yeah.
And then the ARP ESSER, you know, the homeless, that kind of, you'll see on that schedule, that kind of breaks down with all that. How much is, and again, the big thing we have to look at for the amount is how much is spent during the year. It goes by federal expenditures. You know, and I know you guys get a bunch of different stuff from the state with that, but that's just kind of another layer of protection the state licensed independent auditor looking at for, you know, for that kind of thing. And then in the back here, you'll see, this would be where your findings are at, starting on page 72. That was some findings from last year of a required report, and that's just basically saying that we cleared them. If you guys have any findings from your year, next year we have to say whether you guys still have them or not. And of course, like I said, that just shows them being cleared out.
And that's what I was talking to you about earlier, was the additional entries.
Yep.
How many entries we were doing.
Yep, exactly.
Like that was a little cumbersome.
And what I was saying with people being used to stuff too is like, it's good too, because then they know the entries that, you know, people just get used to, like Jim and Joe, for example, you know, they have that background, that was good for you guys, you know,
Yes.
They really knew that, you know, they were able to give us, say, here you guys go, or instead of, you know, that's really what the auditing world wants. It's for us to audit the financial statements. They don't want to just, oh, here's our numbers, we don't know what kind of order they're in, figure it out, because then at that point we're auditing our own work. So that's really, you know, not what we want to do at the end of the day. So that's why we were talking about,
that was the learning curve that we were just for you guys to know from our ladies back here. That's a learning curve.
Yep.
I don't know how else you said
Yep.
it, just like you said. But so this entry thing was it actually goes back to Renee and Renee's Jelinski's reporting of information. Not that she was really doing anything wrong. It was just it was an excessive amount of what was being reported. So for the office ladies, the business part of that, it's a shift. It's a shift of how things are being done. Jim and Joe have done a really good job of assisting them.
Because if everyone is able to do it, like I say, it makes your lives easier, it makes our lives easier too. We don't have as much to do, you know, we don't want to get in the gray area where we're auditing our own work, because then we have to charge you guys extra. We have to say at that point, this is out of the scope of what you guys signed us up to do. You guys have to, you know, that's kind of how all that helps kind of. And like Wendy said, the more people are here, the longer they're here, the more qualified they get, you know, that only helps matters. And sometimes that's not always, especially for a school district, you know, like I say, not everyone has 3 CPAs on staff, so that's always a constant learning curve we're trying to do with our different districts. We know it's not, even though they say this in the standard, it's not always realistic, but we try and work with our schools as much as possible, you know, to get to that point. That, you know, that's really the main thing we want to do with all that. You know, but other than that, then really, like, what we'll do then, all we need left to do is, you know, we want to, of course, go over this with everyone first, make sure we'll get everything to, they'll have copies, and we'll get everything to the state and the federal government as needed for this year, because there's a website, we have to report it to the federal government called Federal Audit Clearinghouse.
Yeah.
We'll do that, so I don't know, Wendy, if you want to go, if you
Jim
want
and I
to
were
do
talking about that
certification
because
or-
I got a notice
Okay.
from, did I tell you, like S&P, our global
Yes,
water rating?
yes.
They were like, you know, they sent me a notice, so we haven't submitted it yet. And then that's not good
Yep.
on that piece.
Exactly. Yep.
So, Jim responded that we would get that to them.
Okay. Yep, so yeah, you'll have the final, so you should have the final copy, what you'll have, and then, like I said, what we have to do, we'll go online, we'll get everything in for that federal, and someone in your organization has to certify for that then. All you do is you sign it, you can certify. Yes. I just want to make sure that it works. Yep, okay. Yep, so Christina, you'll get an email in the coming days about that, and just call me if you have any questions with that.
Okay.
It's just gonna ask you a couple questions that you can certify, and then once that's accepted, we can send, there's an email you send it to the state as well. And then eventually you guys are gonna get a letter from the state basically saying that they agree with your report or not. You probably get those, Wendy, from year to year. Or they'll say, hey, you reported this, but you should do that, you get that from the state every year, yeah.
And then
Usually,
I forward it to you and I said, hey.
Take care of this.
usually like 2 years later with the state, but
Yeah, no, but it's true,
it is,
so they get through it. I mean, maybe because we're doing ours so late, like,
Yep.
it'll be a little bit.
So really the big thing, like, we're all in agreement, this year we were able to, but, next year, we really want to, we want to start in September pretty much. We were all talking and, we'll get a list out to everyone, let everyone start getting stuff together, and then really in September, once everything closes out, it usually takes a couple months for all your receivables and payables all to go through. We really want to get started on that as soon as possible. However we need it, we'll come up there, we'll go or whatever, yeah.
So from your perspective, I know it seems like it'll be a never-ending situation, but it's because we are so really good.
Yes.
So if we start, so after we get through the AFR and we start in September, so hopefully that gives us enough time, maybe September through December.
Yeah.
Well, the AFR and this are running concurrent.
Yep.
Right.
The AFR is due in October, but you also get the automatic 1 month extension.
Right.
That most people do. I mean, there's very few schools that do October, to be honest.
Oh, Renee was like.
Yes, I know.
I remember that.
Yes.
Well, you guys weren't here when she was here, but Renee was like,
Yep.
had it done in October.
And if you haven't done, that's good, but like they
Right.
give you the audit, you don't even have to ask for it
Right.
until November.
Right, but yeah, it's not and I do believe that was with Tina, was that she thought, oh, we're going to complete the AFR, then we're gonna work on the audit. And they're running at the same, they're running at the same time.
Well, that makes sense because it's all the same
Right.
information.
Because what would happen eventually then, like you have to say, we said afterwards, hey, actually you guys need an adjustment. I'm just using an example, adjustment to this revenue account, this expense account. You guys would have to even have to refile an AFR to the state because it's not matching up to your audit. Because at the end of the day, we want your books to match ours. That's really what that's really how it should be. Because this is really your book numbers at the end of the day. So your books internally should match what's on here. Because usually your numbers that we're auditing, again, we're looking at every number and saying, oh, do we agree with this? Do we agree? That kind of thing. That's the way to look at it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just that level of support from school business consultants, Joe and Jim.
Mm-hmm.
They know this system
Yep.
so well that, between the two of them, they've worked really, really hard
Oh,
at
yeah.
making sure that, we don't have to go back and look at those
Mhm.
things.
Yeah, I think we were like $1 off or something.
Yeah, it was. It was $1.
Yes.
Because Carrie was going crazy.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yes, it was $1. It was $1.
Yes, exactly, which is
But
important.
and it's right. It seems like a minuscule thing, but it goes through if it was off.
Mhm.
Like that $1.
Exactly, so that's how that process, so like she said, Christina, like they kind of get that confirmed, because like I said, that way if we see something that we can contribute, we don't do the adjustments, we propose adjustments to you guys, if you guys agree with that or not, or if we say, we propose and have a discussion, and then you guys can do it, or, if you guys kind of do it, you don't want your staff enter that then. Because at the end of the day, we're not making management decisions, we're just the auditors,
Right.
yeah.
So you guys come, so in the past, somebody came on site.
Mhm.
But this time everything was so much more remote.
I think-
Will it go back to that?
Yes, personally, it probably usually is good because then the rest of we can talk to the rest of the crew. I think this year with everything going on, it just ended, and with Jim and Joe, like half the way they were getting stuff, I think it just ended up working out better
It
that
did
way.
like that, so
Yes.
I mean, that's possible.
Mhm.
It was just better for all of the staff. You know,
Plus
you
it
guys
helps.
kind of did little mini interviews with everybody. Yeah,
Yep.
I love that.
Usually that's us going over the control process with
Yes.
everyone.
Yes.
You know, if it changed, you know, okay, we talked to your payroll person, okay, what's your process, you know, because again, like I said before, everyone's just a little different the way they do things, so in order for us to audit, we fully understand that process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, so exactly, that's what we'll do, we'll be back here, you know, we'll have the stuff pulled, come in here, and it just usually helps too, because again, you guys know how it is. Everyone's so busy, sometimes people won't pull stuff until you tell them, hey, the auditors are coming next, you blame it on us, I always tell people. Say the auditors are coming next, or the auditors, you know, and that really makes people, oh, okay, let me get on this, yeah.
Yeah. I think, and the you know, thing about us is we gauge things based on who's work fair.
Yep,
So we always say, oh, Fair Week.
yep,
That usually is our drop dead date for like when we like to have you guys
yep.
here by,
Mhm.
which is last week of September.
It doesn't even go into October this year.
No, it doesn't. It's all
It's
September.
throwing me off.
Yeah, it does.
It's
But that's
weird.
our, like, it's weird. We do a lot of time. Do you guys have questions about the process?
Yeah, I explained it, yep, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And like I said, she's gonna do a lot better with it next year. Yes. And what I like to tell everyone too, like, since I know me, it's a collaborative process all year, like, you know, if you guys have, you know, please don't hesitate to ever reach out to us. I'd rather you ask us that something needs done wrong and us all having to fix it then at the end of the year. You know, I'm very accessible to people, so feel free, you know, myself, feel free to reach out to whoever. That's always the easiest way to reach, especially come fall. We have a bunch of different school districts, we're doing all be out of a different school district every week.
Yeah.
So it's very rare I'm in the office then, yeah.
And findings are not a bad thing.
Mhm.
Findings are just, you know, a way of us, you know, of improving and
Yep.
making things better.
Exactly.
Being more efficient.
That's what it is.
Caution people, it's not trying to make things easier.
Mhm.
We're trying to make it efficient and correct.
There's yet to be a finding so bad I've had to basically talk to the superintendent and say, we gotta sit down because we have to basically, this is so bad, this is like, you know, luckily I've never had that yet, but like you said, that just means sometimes you have to work on this, or this is what's wrong with this, what we propose to help make it better. And we'll do that even during, no matter what, even without findings, you know, that's what we're here for. You know, because again, not everyone has the background we do, everyone, you know, for people who, you know, the people who do this, they don't know what it means for in an auditing world necessarily, that's why you guys hire us. Just like,
No, because I usually do. I usually get it and I go right to the findings.
Exactly.
So I'm like, what do I need to do?
just like if someone hired me to fix their toilet, you guys all better run because that toilet water's coming all over the place. I mean, I'll tell you guys that right now. So exactly, that's why people hire us, yeah.
Well, that's, John, I'm glad that we'll have a meeting that will be here on site in September. And just, especially being new, it's just gonna be really helpful for them to hear and
Yep.
talk through things. Zoom is nice too, but.
Yep.
So how far in advance do you schedule that? Probably like
So what I could do is I could even shoot you guys some dates and all, if you want, yeah.
I think you should
think
get it on the calendar
Yep, I agree.
now.
Mhm. I agree, yeah. We only have a couple school districts scheduled already, so we'll get you guys on. And then what we'll do is we'll start that process of giving you guys that list and saying, here's what we'll need, some of it could be ready right away, some of it is gonna be, oh, we need to wait till September to get, we won't be ready yet, which is, we'll do all that.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll do a nice detailed list of what we need, that only helps the process move along quicker. Like, for example, like the check register and all that we look at, we'll give you guys the samples for that, right? And you guys will pull support for us and I'll have that kind of ready when we, all that.
And then you'll stay for the whole day, that first time.
You will
Oh,
probably be a
look.
good portion of the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, they come, we set up a stall.
Yep.
We set up an area for, I don't know if it'll just be you or,
We have our
sometimes
mini-
you've had like 2 or 3.
We have our
Yeah.
minions, we will bring.
Yeah, I was gonna say usually you have like 2 or 3 that come. And so we give them office space, sometimes it's here in the boardroom, sometimes it's here in the
Oh,
office.
okay.
And they literally come, set up, we walk by them every day.
We'll come in and bother you guys, with questions sometimes when we see something, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's a much better process than the remote.
Yep, yep.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, because you know,
Then it helps with comfort too with the staff, like, they just don't, believe, it kind of helps too if they're comfortable, they're gonna ask questions more too, if they're comfortable, which is important, if the staff, they're not gonna be like, oh, I don't wanna email, they're gonna say, if you're here and they they see that, they're gonna be, oh, I could ask them, that, that only helps matters.
And I was gonna say, in the past, we've used you as a resource, when we're like, oh, I'm just not sure about this, or,
Well, that's why I was using with the collaborative effort, that's my strength to help, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to call me, guys, if you guys are here at 6 o'clock trying to figure a problem out, don't worry, that's after 4 or something, call me, I don't care. Yeah, I don't work typical 9 to 5 or anything, so yeah.
They have talked to Jeff on a Sunday.
Yes, that doesn't surprise me.
Hey, Jeff.
That doesn't surprise me at all, yes.
How's it going in Maryland, Jeff? Because this is what I've got going on.
Yep,
That's what it is.
exactly. So yes, that's how, yeah.
So you will be sending her schedule?
Yes. Yep. We'll be setting a list just so that, like, a lot of the people know from past years, but like I said, any questions, if you guys are like, what the heck does that mean? Because stuff does change sometimes from year to year, what we need. We have different standards sometimes. So if there's anything else, just let me know. And then Jim and Joe, I know, I guess, if there's still, they know too, a little bit too, what they'll, they can always help with that process too, all that.
So you said I'll get an email, and that's to certify the,
Yes.
the audit, okay?
Yep, that will be from Federal Audit Clearinghouse, that will be. Yep. All the information will be input, that will just be certified, yes. But I'll let you know when I think someone has an answer, we'll make sure tomorrow we'll give them one last review and get it out, just to get it into them.
And then put me on copy, just in case it comes to me, because some things sometimes, for whatever reason, go into spam.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, we're like, this is your final notice.
Exactly.
I don't have any other notices.
And what I'll do too, what I might do, we can give Christina a call, let her know, hey, that should be, let us know if you don't get it yet. I'm just in the office tomorrow anyway, so yeah.
Because how do they know, when they send it to them, or how do they know the email address?
When you sign up, you put someone's email, like every year you have to redo, like so probably like Tina's was in, for example, so we probably would have to, what year is it now? Because that would have been last year, Tina's would have been, depending on how it worked out last year at that time, yeah. That's how we do it though, at the initial sign up each year, you just change your contact, yeah.
That's
Yep.
the lesson has to change for a while.
Yep, exactly, yep. Hopefully we answered all the questions. And she's the brain behind it too, just to let everyone know. Yes, I do all the talking and try and look good, but yeah, that we do this, but she's the ones who get everyone moving on it.
I'm the silent brain behind the overboard.
She'll be the one whipping the guys in the shake and all in there. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I call them all my children.
Let's keep them in mind. Definitely really looking forward to working with you guys.
Yes, us too. Yes, definitely.
So come back around.
And like you said, Wendy, we'll keep you just with that. If we kind of look, we'll just keep you involved too, just so you kind of know what's going on. Yeah.
We are going to have our AFR done on time.
Sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good to me. Yep.
Everything done. Not that everybody was informed when there was extensions,
But just a pain having to hear from the state, or no one wants to do it. Yeah.
It is.
Exactly. Everyone has
Once
enough
they
to
pass
worry
their
about.
budget.
One of these days, right? Yeah. I know, they expect you guys to budget off that, right, every year, yeah. I know, you take it to past the deadline.
Any questions from the audience? I'll give you 3 minutes.
We're good.
It wasn't fun.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Of course. And I did feel it getting warmer, by the way, but I can talk. I did feel getting a little bit.
But you can tell, for me, I can tell the sun went down.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like,
Makes a big difference, yeah,
You
doesn't it?
you can tell in here instantly. Yeah.
That's even like my office where our office is, like, I have the sun beating down all day, so once it's like morning or later, it makes a big difference in my office. You put the AC on or something.
I turn the AC on when I get in at 7 a.m. and it's still cooking hot for them
Yeah.
by lunchtime.
Well, this roof
It was
pains,
nice.
like, now it's so warm right now, it won't, but like it will fall when it gets cooler, but then the sun comes up as soon as the sun gets in. Scares people.
Yeah, right? And what I'll do tomorrow is I'll get you guys one or two different weeks. You guys let me make sure your week works best. You guys might see one, oh, we forgot we had this out, you know, I'll shoot you guys an email for that too tomorrow. Yep, once we check out the schedule, sounds good?
Thanks, guys.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Travel safe.
Good talking to you guys, yeah?
We're
Thanks.
gonna talk to you guys for like a month.
Yep, we'll let a month, how does that sound?
1 month. Then we'll be into.
No, well, Except you for are that gonna shoot tomorrow. us dates.
Yes, you're gonna shoot
yes.
the dates and shoot us up.
How about we'll give a couple days this week and then after that we'll give a month. Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good
Thanks.
one.
Have a good one, thank you. Good one.
Do we need a motion to adjourn, or is that it?
I'll second. Are we with it?
Yep, we're good.
You guys
Third.